Hello and welcome to this episode of Loving Me Creatively. I'm your host, mentor, self-love guru, and lover of all love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am blessed to be back. I've been really exploring the expansion of self-love creatives as a home or house for bringing together leaders, change agents, and anyone who is really interested in stepping into their purpose on purpose by really awakening self-love wellness within, indigenous wisdom within, and really acting as pioneers in this new earth that we are moving into. So I am happy to be back. For those of you who are new to this space, Loving Me Creatively is a space of contemplation and transformation. And here we have moments to contemplate, we have moments to share or think about our story as I share my healing journey with you during our story session. And I end with an energy healing transmission towards our transformation with the support of my amazing and beautiful gem family. So welcome, welcome, welcome. As always, I am using the Wild Unknown card tarot deck to provide some foundational support to these episodes. And the theme for today is the Ace of Swords. And this represents our truth. This represents our ability to have mental clarity and make decisions. And as we enter into this beautiful full moon energy and supported by the autumn equinox, which just took place on September 22nd, we are able to really step into opportunities to make decisions, to notice what's been completed. This full moon is an Aries full moon. And so this Aries full moon is the starter fire. It is the baby fire. And this energetic, passionate fire energy that we can lean on to help us provide some clarity to our thoughts and help us make decisions that are really tuned in to our whole heart and our soul's mission is really upon us at this time. How super exciting. We have a new spiritual new year, fall equinox, and we have a full moon in Aries. Aries being that, again, first igniting energy. Super, super interesting. So if we think about the Ace of Swords right now, I think it's really powerful when we consider how we are noting our truths, what are our truths, and how we're gaining mental clarity on what our truths are, what our emotions are, how we're communicating through our clarity and our mental prowess and our ability to make discernment. And as we discern and we have clarity, we're able to make decisions for the, not just our own good, our soul's good, but the good of all, the collective, because we're tuned into the soul's voice. And so with this, first energy of the swords, the Ace of Swords, the Aries energy of this like really powerful opportunity for us to make decisions that are perhaps new, or perhaps radical, or perhaps aligning with what we have already been doing, but now with greater clarity. And as we step into the energy of 9, which is this episode's energy, the episode 9, coming towards completion, it's really powerful for us to begin to envision how we're stepping into loving ourselves creatively and allowing us to really be freed from any bondages, any emotional bondage that we might have created or experienced through the pain and grief of others around us. And there is pain and grief at this time. And I want to really acknowledge the validity to sacred rage and the divine feminine, and really honoring what grief is meant to do. And I've been receiving a lot of messages around transmutation of energy. And again, using the fire energy, much like smoke, we are changing. We change the earth with the fire, blended of the fire with the air, we have smoke. And as we create this opportunity for the transmutation of these experiences, may we allow ourselves all the time that we need, gaining clarity so that we do not remain in a suffering space any longer than we actually need. And I think that by saying that, I'm sure a lot of you listening to this understand what I mean. We've been indoctrinated in this idea that we should be fearful and that grief is just a thing that we have to endure. And while grief is a part of the human experience, as is sadness and frustration and joy and love and bliss, it's powerful for us to really understand that they all have their place, but too much of anything isn't healthy, much like food, much like spending time with someone, much like stimulation from visuals or technology. So giving ourselves enough time for each of these things that are super crucial to the complexity of our human nature is important. And it is part of being self-compassionate. And if you haven't checked out the New Earth, New Love series, please do. Series 1 through 3 are on YouTube for free. You get to explore building self-love. You get to get in tune with the body and the body-mind. And I take you on an exploration of exploring the divine within and exploring indigenous wisdom. And the 4th part of that series, Just Play, is available for purchase on my website. It's $13 and one of my favorite workshops because it really talks about what I'm focusing on at this time and which really embodies what Self-Love Creatives is all about. Loving Me creatively is all about, is igniting sacred creativity. So I invite you to explore that series if you have not yet. But this is a good time for us to move into our segment. That was just a welcome. welcome with the long welcome. For us to really use the energy of 4 of Cups as a starting point. And this is where I was getting some of this information, but also just with the recognizing of what's occurring right now for our world and in our world around the Black Lives Movement and around really looking at indigenous sovereignty and the reclamation and redemption, the what is owed. And what is owed isn't just monetary, although it is coming. And when we have an abundance mindset, we begin to notice these things. And I'll share with you some of those things here later on that I've noticed. But the 4 of Cups energy represents greed or discontentment. And it harnesses the energy of a lack mindset or our self-sabotaging behaviors or thoughts. It also represents a lot of the intergenerational traumas, the bondages, the belief systems that are part of the DNA and part of the encoding of what is reality. And in this way, it is representative of the need and deserving nature of the change and the movement into healing. And since this energy of 4 of Cups sometimes can represent a taking for granted. We have the second card that came out as a part of segment 1, which is the Justice card, and that's card number 8 for those interested in numerology. And the 8 card represents justice when we think about it through our decision making, our choices, and how this impacts and influences our karma or the Dharma that we might choose. And with a sense of really deep understanding, this Justice card actually allows us to make a choice into gratitude, helping us recognize the abundance, moving against the energy of the Four of Cups, where we are, whether intentionally or unintentionally, continuing the loop, the intergenerational curse, the bondage, the illusion. And it might look like self-sabotaging behaviors, and I will say from personal experiences with my clients as well as myself, I really understand self-sabotaging behavior. And sometimes it is as simple, or it's not as simple, as recognizing the fear that is influencing our choices. And I've shared this in other episodes and in the live sessions that I do on Instagram, that it's really important for us to really tune in to this. Because when we are in a abundance or gratitude driven mindset, the effects we have are increased. And I was just looking at that from the perspective of the numbers with the cards. We have the Four of Cups, 4, with the 8, number 8, Justice. And this is literally a doubling up of the number. So when we have self-awareness, right, when we have clarity of the mind, when we allow truth to really be expanded and understand that we're creating new, we do this from a place of self-love. We are able to recognize the bondage of the intergenerational traumas. We recognize the systems in place. We recognize the injustices. And with justice, we make a choice to change our reality. And while it might not be simple as a instantaneous, I see this, I feel this, I am making this decision. But by making the intentional decision, each day we work towards really allowing ourselves to be free. And we double up. We upgrade in that way. And our choices then become our Dharma towards our liberation and towards the collective ascension process, the collective evolution that we're all going through at this time. And so segment 1 really reminds us, and this is where we get to contemplate. Segment 1 really reminds us here that we have a cause for our discontentment. But as we make a choice, we acknowledge the power we have. And we speak from our truth. And we rally in peace. And we speak from our heart. And we share our sadness. And if our voice sounds firm and passionate, it's because we are passionate about this and our change. And let us not get too wrapped up in any one particular story or one particular situation. Because with us creating anew, we're acknowledging. But we are focusing on the present and the future. Let us talk about what we want to create. Let us focus on what we want to create. Let us focus on the emotions, the intensity, the fire igniting us. To do it from a place of love and rebirth We are rebirthing. Let us not focus on what the grief has been. We know it. We feel it. We understand. Let us give our love to those in grief. Let us allow ourselves grief, and let us move with gratitude towards justice. And that means making a conscious decision about who we fund, how we share our love and our money, how we choose to spend our time, who we give our time to, how we are invested in the matrix, or how much we're participating in the matrix, how much we're allowing ourselves to awaken our indigenous knowledge. And I can go on, but I won't. Because you get the drift. And at the bottom of the deck, the Son of Swords really is our guiding hidden truth here. Because as we tap into this Aries moon with the determined energy, we can ignite the creative energies of fire. And we can take action, but with the mental clarity of the Ace of Swords. And we do it with intellect, with discernment, with emotional balance, so that we are not any too saturated with any emotion. And then we're able to do this with more clarity. We cannot have clear mind if our body is swirling with all the hormones that are enacted when we are in deep grief or when we are in deep rage. There's a time and place. Like I said, allowing ourselves to have that. And when we are ready, step into the theme of this episode 9, the Ace of Swords, our mental clarity and stepping into our truth. And with that, I want to share, as we move into segment 2, Shaman Story Hour, my spiritual awakening process with really understanding these intergenerational traumas and how they manifest themselves, and how this influences us in our choices that we make, and how they might be self-sabotaging. Now, part of a smaller family system, for me, the trauma was through rejection and isolation. And the deepest human wound, trauma, is the separation of source, but also of acknowledging the separation of source, acknowledging that we are a soul, a fractal. And so because this is a deep embedded part of our trauma, it manifests itself in our reality. And our reality that I experienced of really having a family system that couldn't fully understand the way in which I was communicating my needs, and not feeling like I was understood. And because I am a communicator, and communication is so important to me, I've had a real powerful realization recently while taking in the healing properties of plant medicine, and really understanding that the trusting of others, that they could meet my needs through a lack of being able to communicate, really set the stage for who I was, perhaps even innately through my birthing, but also through my lived experience. And so communication became a really powerful part of what was important to me around my healing and how I was able to walk through the world and how I understood myself. And even in this awareness of this is the intergenerational trauma that has been passed down, but my unique expression of how important communication is, there was also a realization of how communication was also being used as a means to block myself out of and create unnecessary conflict when not communicating my needs, and really self-sabotaging myself by not being willing to put myself out there and instead choosing to convince myself that a person or situation wasn't good for me because there was conflict or because there wasn't a mutual understanding, so on and so forth. And there's a difference between trusting your intuition and what spaces and people are best for you and making decisions to somehow bypass conflict. And what's really interesting and ironic about me sharing this story is that I'm an excellent conflict negotiator. I'm an excellent facilitator and have done transformational justice circles work for a very, very long time. But interestingly enough, when I started really going through my healing journey, I really understood and realized through looking at myself through the lens of self-love that this was an area that, while I was very good at externally for others, was not good at for myself. And without getting into too much depth in this story hour, because, there's always next story hour, is to really recognize that self-sabotaging is when we make decisions out of fear and not love. And so making decisions to perhaps end relationships, prolong relationships, choose to not share my feeling of disheartenment of a situation and choose to internalize it, or the behavior of just disassociation, of just like, I don't want to deal with this. All were different types of expressions of self-sabotaging that I've noticed in myself over the many years. And in really just stepping into the self-love wellness and asking myself, is this out of fear, out of love, has really allowed me a opportunity to not take for granted the opportunities for learning and lessons learned and expansion and growth that I can have when I lean into the discomfort. And so I really want to encourage this Ace of Swords energy in my story, because while, I am human and I have moments where my ego mind wants to take over, it is with discernment that I lean into the discomfort and ask myself those tough questions. Is this out of fear? Is this out of love? And really allowing myself to have the time needed to make these decisions and choices. Knowing that with that justice energy, karma is enacted when we make a choice and decision. And it can either support the momentum of our Dharma, the clearing of our karma, or creation of new karma. And really thinking about how we can move into the discontentment of the perception of our world into a state of abundance and gratitude for our world, in the acknowledgement of what we want to change and what we're not okay with and what boundaries are being crossed, is a super important part of our journey. And with action and with creativity, the Son of Swords energy really allows us movement into that direction. And so as we wrap up this second story segment, I want us to lean back into the contemplation of the segment 1. And I want you to really think about, what are you feeling, if at all, any discontentment for? Are there any aspects of your thinking mind that perceive the world through lack or through deficit? Are there intergenerational traumas that are unknown to you? And if they are known, how do they influence your choices? Is there a self-reflective practice that allow you to check yourself? Do you have people in your life who are honest and kind, who are authentic and transparent, who are vulnerable in their honesty with you to really allow you to see yourself through a lens of a mirror? And if there aren't, this is why I'm here, So please, if you're interested in increasing your skills, really stepping into your purpose on purpose, and really allowing yourself to awaken to your gifts, your natural gifts, I encourage you to reach out to me. You can check out all the things that I offer: online programs, leadership programs, one-on-one programs, including weekly classes on some really fun topics. You can find all that information on my website, selflovecreatives.com. Or let's stay connected. Follow me on the social media channels, Self Love Creatives, for lots of interesting and fun conversations and thoughts to reflect on. But let us move into the third segment, our transformation segment. Also going to be utilizing the beautiful energy of my peach moonstone, recently acquired from the beautiful gem goddess Crystal Lady Luna. She is where I get all my gems from. She has the most beautiful quality, fair, sustainable products and prices. So I definitely encourage you to look her up. Let us just settle into our bodies. Get yourself a cup of water and find yourself a comfortable place to relax, laying or sitting up straight. If you own a peach moonstone or a moonstone of any kind, I would encourage you to bring forward that at this time, allowing that to provide you an additional healing experience. Now, peach moonstone is known for its ability to soothe feminine energy. It supports the heart and it stimulates the mind. It's best used by sensitive and intuitive people, along with writers. And it supports the sacral and solar plexus. Its energy vibration is the number 4. And it is the element wind and water. The planet connected is the moon. And it is connected to the birthstone of September. So here we are in September, offering us love, power, healing, and luck, as well as psychic protection, purifying and transmuting negative energy. It also allows us to really stimulate our creativity and our passion, as well as our mind, allowing us emotional balance and peace. It also offers us calming and brightening of our emotions. It helps us improve our self-image. It lifts up our vibration by opening up the feminine energy within. It allows us to feel our own worth and value and perceive our own positive situations, allowing us to soothe worries and any anxieties. So let us tap into the beautiful energy of peach moonstone. Let us settle into our body. Noticing the breath, noticing where our toes are, noticing where our body touches the ground and how we feel in the body. And just noticing the breath in the body as we relax, starting from the toes, moving it upward, calf into the full leg, thigh and torso area, swirling upward to our shoulders, and we feel them relaxing further, sinking deeper. So we notice our neck, even our earlobes and eyelashes are relaxed. And as we sink into our body, let us take a collective breath, allowing us to sync up our energies and allow you to receive this healing transmission regardless of time and space when you access it. And by syncing up our breaths, you are also consenting to this energy transmission. Allow yourself to relax as we, on 3, take a collective breath, holding for 7 seconds, releasing out the mouth and holding for another 7 seconds. On 1, 2, 3, breathe in. To 7, holding at the top. 4, 5, 6, 7, breathing out the mouth. Holding. Breathing in. Holding. Breathing out. And just settling into your body. Allow yourself to notice the tension and relaxation in the body, focusing on relaxing further as you settle into your space, taking breaths at a normal rate, comfortable, settling deeper into your body. As you settle into your body, begin noticing your breath. Notice where the energy expands in the lung. Notice the way the body feels with the breath. Feel the weight of the body without the breath. As you settle in deeper. And as you notice the breath, begin to visualize this energy, this life force entering your body. Notice the way that it enters through the nose cavity, into the throat, and into the chest. Feel it expand in the body, lighting up, brightening up the body. Notice the exhale, the light dimming. And as you take in a deep breath, holding for as long as possible, Notice the energies in the body that are very bright and those that are less bright. Feel into these areas and allow yourself to feel them with love and ease. Breathing in the life force, breathing out. And as you breathe naturally, begin noticing the beautiful light that enters the chest and the inhale. Feel this beautiful light in the heart and begin noticing its unique shapes and colors. Notice how it dances, how it moves, and feel the beautiful and as you notice these beautiful movements, feel full, feel expanded, complete. Feel the abundance of energy. Notice how it expands in the body. And now notice this light as it travels downward into the belly. And notice this particular shape, size, and movement. Allow the energy to increase as you explore this area with passion and clarity of purpose in your truths, standing in your power with gratitude from the heart. Notice the energy and allow it to be filled with the beautiful light coming from the breath, from the heart, passing the throat as you receive this energy with truth, with clarity of the mind. And as you feel the energy expand here, allow yourself to be curious on this self-discovery journey as we tap into our innate gifts and wisdom. Allow this energy to surge further as you allow it to travel downward into the sacral chakra. Feel your creative center expand here with this beautiful, vibrant light, and notice its unique dances and forms. Feel the divine feminine energy within rise as you notice your worth, and you are brightened with a desire to feel the self with love, moving towards balance and direction of your dreams with the beautiful power of healing and love harnessed from our peach moonstone. We allow this energy to travel downward into our root, where we are rooted. Notice your roots connected to the seed which surrounds your aura. feel safe, connected, and with purpose in this seed, allow yourself to expand, move freely with clarity and emotional intelligence. And as you connect with this space, feeling yourself rooted, allow this energy to travel back upward into the heart. Taking another deep breath here. Holding for as long as possible this beautiful energy surging from your lower chakras into the heart, and as you exhale, releasing any belief, any thought, any prior experience which no longer serves you. Allowing love and forgiveness to enter into the heart at this time. Taking another deep breath, taking in this energy and committing yourself to this truth. And as you are inspired by the beautiful creative energy of your sacral, allow your heart to expand higher into the high heart, the bliss and the play, as we awaken further the energy into the throat. Feel the life force pass through here. Noticing with these energies now aligning. Notice the clarity offered through the illusions and fears that are dissolved in the heart. And as your heart transmutes this energy, feel ourselves ready to spark anew. Allowing yourself time at this time to speak your truths to yourself and your body. What decision and choice will you be making for your physical body? What commitment for your emotional body? And what commitment for your mental body to offer clarity and moving towards greater purpose on purpose. Taking in a few breaths here, noticing the energy rise from the body throughout each energy center, into the throat, rising up to the crown when you are ready. Safely protected in the seed, allowing you to expand your energy if you so desire. And as you take that final deep breath, notice the energies and the brightness within the body at this time. Feel the areas that need more healing and make a commitment to coming back to this space without judgment, without shame, to continue to purge the energies which no longer serve, utilizing the knowledge built and lessons learned. Offering clarity of the mind at this time as you make your final commitments to yourself. final breath, noticing the body and its unique energy at this time. Fortify your energy seed with love as you bring yourself back into your breath, back into your body as you wiggle your toes and batter your eyelashes, returning back with your hands in front of your heart, bowing in reverence to the beautiful energy and intentions that you provided yourself during this self-investment moment. And I bow to you and I thank you for joining in this. I thank you for joining this episode. I am always blessed to provide this beautiful energy healing transmission and to provide a place for deeper healing and deeper self-realization. And in this way, this space is a place for us to radically create the new life that we wish for ourselves. So thank you for joining me and thank you for tuning in. If you are interested in learning more about working with me one-on-one or in one of my community online programs, please take a peek at all of that on my website, selflovecreatives.com, under the tab Walk in Your Purpose. And that is there for you to really think about how you might want to walk in your purpose, giving you opportunity to check out my calendar, look at programs and courses, and book a service. And if you're just interested in receiving more healing, more energy healing transmissions, or are interested in reflecting and contemplating deeper as part of your practice as you build a conscious lifestyle and build self-love wellness, please reach out to me, selflovecreatives@gmail.com. And let's stay connected. Please do follow me at Self Love Creatives. You can find me here on YouTube, offering many other interesting things. I have an IG Live Wisdom Wednesdays every week that I reshare here on YouTube. I also have a really fun Freedom Fridays every other week with a different leader in the community that we get to dive into talking about New Earth and love. And on October 2nd, I am joined by my wonderful soul brother Julian from holistic.investor, and we're going to be talking about New Earth love and investing in ourselves through a holistic lens. So I'm super excited for that. Stay tuned for all the details. And I'm excited about some really fun classes that I'm going to be hosting. First and third Mondays, Super Sensual Knowledge online dance class, where we dive deeply into sacred creativity using improv dance as our medium. And on Wednesdays, I'm going to be hosting a compassionate communication class, offering it in 5-week cycles for a bundle, or you can just pop in and out for a class. And I would love to have you join as we discuss compassionate communication, not just as part of a compassionate citizen, which is another pre-recorded course that we'll be launching in mid-October, but how we're using communication and how we are building self-love wellness and how we are building our role in society using this particular technique. So I encourage you and welcome you, invite you to these particular programs and classes, sending you all immense love and blessings. Don't forget to love yourself creatively today. Until next time.